Hello YouTube and welcome back to Cities Skylines. Thank you very much for joining me in this video as we take a look at one of the A roads that are leading out of the city, and you can see this farm, this wonderful farm ahead of us. Last time out in the last series, or last episode sorry, there was a live stream where we did actually make this farm and a few other farms in and around the area. Between episodes I've done a little bit of work, but today I'm going to be trying to fill in a whole bunch of farms. So let's see exactly what we get out of this, and we're going to try and get rid of that farming industry area and turn it into some proper farms and then expand out from there. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I wonder where that police car's going. Interesting. And also, I really want these cars to be able to get out of the way of emergency vehicles. That would be awesome. If anybody knows a mod for that, please let me know. But for now, we'll just deal with that. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. Let's get on with it. Okay, so last time out, as you can see, I made some of these farms. I didn't actually fill them all in the live stream, but that's okay because today we're going to be working a little bit more on this, and I intend to first of all get the base layout for this farm, this farm, and this farm. That's a really important one, or the important ones. I'm also going to take out all of these farms here, so we are really going to be getting rid of a lot of farms. Off camera, I've also gone and placed in a whole bunch of roads. You can see this here, all these dirt roads. These are all going to be for farm traffic and farm traffic only. As you can see, they do not tend to go anywhere. They just go into the various farms, and that is it. I thought that's really important to do. And naturally, as the city grows, these roads are going to be what create the backbone of the actual city itself. So it gives us a more natural progression to the city. So you can see that there are farms along here as well. We've even got a lovely level crossing here. I'm not sure if these train lines work still. There's that tiny section of train line that clearly isn't correct right there, but I really don't know if these train lines work. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's something to solve at a later date. So let's get on with the farms. I'm going to start with doing the edges. That's the idea. So I'm going to use the move it tool to clone, and we're going to start by doing the edges. I'm also going to pause this because otherwise it's going to get too dark. This is probably as dark as we want this to go, because you can see in this area it's already really quite dark. So for the edging, I am going to place this sort of texture, and the way I do this is I just I place this in, and we can always clean up the textures afterwards, so they're not going to be too close to each other, but close enough for them to overlap, like so. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, because as you can see, you have got dirt out on the road, but that can be fixed using the procedural mod tool. That's gone really dark really quickly, hasn't it? Shame I can't change the time of day. Maybe there's another farm I should do first. Let's do this farm first. This is a little bit better. In fact, even better than that. Why don't I just remove all the bloom full stop? Ambient occlusion. Hang on a second. Now that's pretty good. There we go. Doesn't look great, but at least we can see. Doesn't look great at all, but as I said, we can see. So I'm going to do this all the way up. You can see it's not going to cover the entire road. That's intentional. And we'll do that all the way up and around along here. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's the point of this if we're going to create an entire farm section? Well, in addition to actually being able to create the part in the middle, this gives us an idea as to where the borders need to be. So I'm actually going to build some borders, which is probably the first time I've done this. So I'm actually going to grab a wall, and I am going to, for example, this wall, I'm going to try and, is that the wall? I'm going to look for the wall. This wall, probably. It's supposed to connect onto this, but clearly it does not want to do that. But in doing this, I'm going to create the wall that marks the edge of this land. And that's going to be one of the first time I ever draw a wall border. And again, this is going to be really useful at the end. I'll actually build that right up to there. Now you can see the wall border is sort of dug into the ground like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the move it tool and lift it up like that. Any section I feel like I need to lift up, I will. So let's see. That section there, could lift that up like that. I'll lift this section here up. And you can see the procedural walls, the decals are having some sort of undesirable effect on the actual walls themselves. That's something we're going to fix. Is that how high we want it? Don't need it that high. Like that, and we can even move it to connect right up to that. There we go. So there's our first actual walled off farm. Now that's something that you don't actually see often, which also means we can get rid of some of the trees in and around the area. Now I'm going to actually leave that one tree there. There's a reason for leaving that tree. Okay, next up we need to ensure that this is not causing us trouble with the procedural objects. So what we're going to do, we're going to click that. No, we're not. We're going to click the move it tool first, click that, press PO. Hello. This has changed. Well, this has changed. I used to be able to just convert this to a procedural object. More tools. There we go. That's now a procedural object. And if I can edit this, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and grab those two and try and move them to a slightly better position. So you can see it doesn't get caught on the wall as much. Then I can just go back on that, and we can just continue doing the same with all of that. But I also think it might be possible for me to do this and rotate the texture in such a way that maybe it does not actually get in the way as much. So there is that as a potential solution as well. Two things not tried, but that is something I'm going to look at. Now, let's say we want to make this a wheat farm of some sort. So I'm going to look for decals, and I've got loads and loads and loads of them. But I think this decal probably looks pretty nice. And you can see it fades quite nicely into this. Now, I'm going to actually make the decals. I'm going to make the farm straight up and down. No, let's actually make the farm follow one of these lines. Let's do it like this. 1, 2, and 3. It's not a large farm. There we go. Okay. now I can just press M, grab 1, 2, 3, and clone them as many times as I want until I think this looks fairly reasonable. But that looks pretty good. That doesn't look too bad at all. I'll get rid of that. I'll just grab one. Now I'm just going to clone the single one to sort of give us that final edge that we're going to be building. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. I think I can build that edge without any issues. I'll bring this one right the way up, and then I'm going to leave it. So now I'm going to turn these into procedural objects. Again, just I've forgotten what the keys are for this. So I'll make that a procedural object. I'll make that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and sure, let's do that one as well. Now they all look horrible. That's fine though. I can just click on these. Can I click on multiple ones? Yes. And I'm going to, okay, I cannot edit multiple ones. That's fine. So the first thing I do, I grab these, press page up, bring that all up. That's what I'm going to do for every single one. Edit, right click, grab those, page up, bring that back. Snap each to ground. Ooh, there's a new snap each to ground. Cool. There's a whole bunch of tools over here. So we can say delete tab. What's page up, page down, left, right, control. No, that's fine. Edit, grab, page up, back, edit, grab, page up. Okay, so that's all the ones at the front done. Now, what I want to do is I want to grab these two and move them in like that. So that's going to give us the actual shape of the farm that we're going to be using in some way, shape or form. It's not going to be the best, but it will be better than we've done before. So I'll bring it down and I'll do something like that. Okay, now I'm going to grab this one and I'll edit that. I do the same thing, so I grab that and this time I'll bring it down to sort of match up with that line. So it's going to go like that, and then I think that's pretty much okay. Then with these ones, I've got a slightly better idea. I can just move these slightly down, line them up, and that should be absolutely fine. I will move this one as well, but this one I am going to do something to. So with this one, with the edit, I'm going to grab this side and I'm going to move these inwards like that, and then I'm just going to grab, oops, no, I wanted to grab you two and can I move you upwards a bit? No, you know what, I'm just going to leave you as it is. There we go. So that's looking pretty good over there. Now on this side we do need to make some minor adjustments. So we're going to grab this one. Same concept. Bring that up. And in fact I know what's happening with this already. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drag that one up like so. So I already know what's happening here. And then I'm going to grab that one and line that up in some form as well. I'd rather that was as low down as it could be. Now that's probably the best we've got. Next one, same concept. Up, and you can see just how far this one is. So we'll bring that. I'm going to say there, and then I'll grab that and I'll bring that up like so. And then we'll grab this one, same editing, drag that one back there, and then I'll just grab you and bring that down like that. So there's our farm completed. That doesn't look terrible. I keep pressing escape. I'm then going to grab this and move this one in a little bit, because I think that's going to look somewhat better. Perfect. Get rid of M. And that's another farm looking good. So what do we need to do now? Well, if you have a look at the water supply, you can see that our water supply is not doing all too well. So what we're going to have to do is figure out a supply of water. And I am going to literally bring the water supply all the way along this road. That's actually really quite important to bring the supply all the way along the road, and I'm going to connect it up to that. So this place should theoretically get water. That's the theory. Electricity, on the other hand, is going to be a whole different problem. As you can see, these things are not really connected up in terms of electricity. But we're going to worry about that once we get the building in. So all I'm going to do is type in farm. Let's find out what we have. I'll probably go for ploppable or growable. I'll go for growable. Okay. I think a silo is nice. I also think a barn house is nice. So I'm going to stick a barn house here, and I'm going to stick a silo here and a little stick that there, a tiny little house there. There we go. So that's what I'm going to do. Next up is to actually get the other part of the farm. Oh no, I just type in farm, and I should click not net structures, ploppable. Now we were saying wheat, so I'm thinking wheat cut is probably the best one to go for. And as we cannot do it the entire way through, as you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this as best as I can to try and get this correct. So I'm not going to do all the way. I'll do that. I'll do that, and I'm going to try and throw one in the middle. And I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but this is what all the tests are for. Again, not sure if I could do the whole ploppable structures thing with this. This might have been a bad idea, but we're about to see. Get the anarchy up and running. There we go. Okay, so we have I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Let's fast forward, let this thing build. There we go, structures are building. And I will also stick a little... There you go, right there. Fine, I'll pipe you up as well, if you want to be like that. Right, the sun is setting. That's taken us a good 20 minutes to build. But it is sort of there now. There we go. Okay, so we have a house. Maybe nobody lives here. we have a farm. In fact, we've got a fair amount over here. I did not realise that that's going to be quite as busy as it is. I'm actually going to get rid of that. No, that was wrong. And I also got rid of that. I shouldn't have got rid of that. There you go. That's probably better. So, 0 of 9 workers. Well, that's causing problems. Can I move you? I can move you, right? Not you. You. There. That's better. You can stay there now. We'll fix this up with the decals, of course. But as night falls, annoyingly, it's really annoying when night falls on this. But that is yet another farm completed. And you can see how horrible it gets when night falls. In the meantime, in our city, things are lagging away, but going all right. We have 2,000. We have 3,000 people almost living in the city, which is good. We have a demand for commercial products, which is fine, but we cannot cope with that just yet. We cannot deal with that. We have this village over here, which I've just been looking at, and I've realised these things need fences or sort of walls. So I'm going to wall up these houses, the backs of these houses, as they properly should be. So same thing here, wall up that, and these ones sort of have walls, so I might just wall up all the way along, and that will probably be better. Now I am also going to... Does this have no workers still? It has no workers still, so in order to fix that... Goodbye. That's a police station. Goodbye. You. All of these can go. Because this is all disappearing now. There we go. So, now we should have workers going to this place. There you go. Exactly as we wanted. There are 3 jobs available, but that's absolutely fine. Do people live here? Yes, somebody lives here. Probably the owner. Yeah, he lives there. There you go. Perfect. So that's actually going to cut down on the amount of traffic sort of trying to drop things off in here, and they all have to go into their own little... There you go. Well, you can see there's a perfect example, which is absolutely fine. What I've learned here is that we really need to try and keep these as square as possible, which is going to be a problem. So the question is, which way does the square go? Because you can see that these colours just do not match. But that does raise a whole new set of problems. I'm also going to get rid of these trees. I said I would do this eventually. So I'm going to get rid of those trees, and I will continue the wall for now. Until the end of this episode, I might as well do this. Net structures. Brick wall? What's that brick wall? Dry stone wall. Here, connect from here. But yes, this is going to turn out to be a lot harder than I thought, unfortunately. What's this? This is a... Oh, this is the end of a farm. Okay, that's fine. I think I'll just bring that down to there, and we'll deal with that another time. We've got the wall along there. We've got the main road wall there that turns to then that sort of wall, which is absolutely fine. Again, possibly want to do this like that, and that's probably part of the farm road, so I'll leave that as it is and we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to speed through the day. Unfortunately, it takes a while to get through this. What I'm now looking at is how we can build a farm in this area. That's going to be the next issue. What we can try is, let's just try one of these. Look, I'm going to, ooh, that's a big one. Let's try a tiny one like that. I'm going to try and convert this to that, and I want to know what happens. Edit. Yeah, see, it completely disappears. The actual object just completely and utterly disappears. I can flatten. Snap each to ground. Yeah, it's just completely gone. Which is the odd thing. But there's not much I can do. So that's out of the question. That's clearly out of the question. What I am going to do is look for a dirt decal again. Okay, apparently there isn't. Really? Oh, decal. Farm? Farm decal. Why not? Here we go. And this is the one I'm going to use for the next lot. But as you can see, the problem is, which way do I do it? That way, that way. I suppose that way would be easier to do. Should we try that way? Let's try that way. Yeah, let's go for it. Or even that way. Could I do that way? Really a lot of choices here. Oh, a lot of choices. Which is why it takes so long to make one of these. Which is why I'm also considering moving this purely to live streaming. Although then, of course, it's trying to find the time to actually do the live stream. There we go, that's 3. Let's see what that looks like. What? Is there something still there? No. So I can drag this up. And of course with the procedural objects mod, I can easily get rid of any area that I do not want. For example, you can see the tilled soil going over, but realistically I do not even need that. Doesn't even need to go to the end. There we go, something like that. I mean, that's starting to look fairly good. And at least it looks like a farm in that sense. It's just when we start adding the other objects in that the whole farm concept starts falling apart, annoyingly. But at this stage, clearly that looks like a farm. And maybe that's all we need to do. We need to just hold it at this stage, unfortunately. That's pretty good. Then I can make that area dirt. We'll individually add the other bits. So I can just clone this single bit here and just go, right, okay. Add one there, and then I'll want... no, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I think that could actually work. That could actually work. I may even get rid of that one. There we go. So that's another farm made, and that is pretty much the end of the episode though. Which is, this thing takes very, very long. It's a long, long time to do this. It's just a very, very long and tedious process. I mean, it's really great to be able to do the detailing. It's just, this is why the episodes are so sporadic as well. I've got to try and figure out what I'm trying to do, how I'm trying to do it. There's a bunch of tests that also go on, some of which I'll put on Patreon, some of which I do not. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end this episode. So if you did enjoy it, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell, and if you really do enjoy these videos, please do consider supporting me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. Also, you can find me on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. You know what? In a way, that does look like a farm. I could just leave it like that. Well, that's 2 more farms sort of up, which is better than what we had before. But that is where I'm going to end it. So that's all from me, and I will see you guys next time in Cities Skylines. And if I slow this down, there we go. What's that? It's emptying, right. In Cities Skylines and the city of Affenford.